Visit while we're doing this novel. What is character? Let's point our direction to the top 10 targets. We need to choral read. All right, 1, 2, 3.
We will identify the elements of the novel. We will be able to explain a character's thoughts, words, actions that reveal his or growth through common life.
Let's stop right there. We just started doing that by when Keon added his input about how Bud was feeling, having a pretend brother. He was excited. Bud really wanted family. So we already know that what word do you think Bugs would use to describe Bud? If we had to speak to Bugs, and if we were able to get that roach out of his ear so he can hear us when we're speaking, what do you think one word Bugs would use to describe Bud? Nestor?
I think Bugs would use intelligent.
He would use intelligent. Why? So he's saying he helped Bud through the various journeys that they've had together. What would be another word that Bugs would use to describe Bud?
I think a word that Bugs uses to describe Bud is brave.
Brave. Why brave?
I think Bugs would say he's brave because he was brave enough to go to war and fight time.
Okay. And you remember, Bugs was really inquisitive. He asked Bud a multiplicity of questions. Let's go to the next before we start. Let's go to our next target.
We will identify with a character or situation and make real-life connections. We will
Stop. Have we done that?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone made a connection with Bud or any other character within the novel? Nathan.
I made a connection with Bud and Taz when me and my brother we be fighting. When
That great big old brother?
when cousin Bud and Taz was fighting in Taz's room, then Mr. Amy had came in the room, and Mr. Amy believed everything Taz said.
And what was that metaphor that Mrs. Amos used? Carol?
The metaphor Mrs. Amy used is that Taz's mother was her body.
And that it was like a what?
Prayer.
A prayer, like it was a prayer book. Let's go to the next target.
We will bring historical fictions to make connections to key events in American history.
Someone tell me what key event in American history is the basis for Bud Not Buddy? Ladarius.
One historical event is the Great Depression. They have to get breakfast and dinner. They have to go to the mission and get food.
So basically, the Great Depression is the main American event that takes place in this novel. One of the students that's in the Johnny Tremaine group, would you tell me what is one of the key American events in American history in Johnny Tremaine?
One of the key events is the American Revolutionary War.
It's all centered around the American Revolutionary War. Okay. What about in The Witch of Blackbird Pond?
In The Witch of Blackbird Pond, a key event from the American history would be slaves because Kid talks about the slaves that she had in the plantation.
Okay, you're at the beginning of that book, but it's going to take a turn. Someone else tell me.
Another key event in The Witch of Blackbird Pond is the Salem Witch Trials.
Is the Salem Witch Trials. That's what's the basis of The Witch of Blackbird Pond. Let's look. It's a word that begins with the letter I. when we try to blend to present day Michigan, what's going on in Michigan in 2013? You still have your word study component, and one of my favorite parts, let's look at part H on the last page. Bud Soundtrack. You are going to create a top 10 list of jazz tunes from 1930s that will complement your digital book trailer. Also, your soundtrack that you compile will be played in the Literary Museum. Also, you're going to do a review. You're going to select one song from this jazz era and write a review. How do you like the song? Describe the mood and tone of the song. Include elements such as melody, harmony, instrumentation, pitch. Okay? I think that's going to make your literary museum stand out amongst anything that's ever been done in a 5th grade classroom. We're going to go over, you will have more time, everyone, to do your buddy contract tomorrow. But right now we need to transition and break off into our literature circles. And Nathan says he wants to transition with the preamble. So when I say transition, I want you to report to your literature circle areas. Transition.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the justice and liberty to ourselves and our prosperity.
I said, I changed it. I stopped and I said, bridge and I went on, Boston and I went on British in the morning. They won the revolution.
He was too prideful and thought he could do better job than Dove and Dusty.
But now Dove and Dusty doing better than yeah, like he said, he was so prideful and stuff, thinking he could do everything. But after the accident, when his arm was burnt, he couldn't do everything.
I agree with Joseph. First he was prideful and thought he could do everything, but now he can't do anything and can't find any job because of his burnt hand. People won't hire him.
Anybody else got any more answers?
At first, before his hand got burnt, he used to be the top apprentice, but now he can't be an apprentice anymore because his hand don't function right. Correct.
He couldn't be a silversmith. He could do other stuff, but he just can't do it with silversmith.
He just lives with his master because his mother died. But he moved out.
Number 2, how do you think you might react in Johnny's situation? What advice would you give to him? Anybody have answers? I would tell him just to try to handle it by himself and try to do whatever he could with his hand and try to find as many jobs as he could so he can keep living and not pass on. Did anybody make a connection? I made a connection one time. I broke my ankle and I used to like playing football and stuff, but after I broke my ankle, I was on crutches and I couldn't play. I couldn't really do nothing.
You can add, and they say, But this isn't a book trailer. This is a skit that someone performed. Click on the. Let's look at the other examples that she posted. Okay, we pause now. Now take your learning log. Use your rubric. After watching it, go through each component. How would you grade that book trailer? Look at it on the basis of its creativity. Is it interesting? How is the narration? Does it help get you involved with the story? You don't want the one Destiny says that tells you the ending. You want people to go out and buy that book and read it. So if you give it the ending, no one will want to read it. Nathan, how do you feel about that music?
I feel that it describes the book.
Does it sound like jazz? The elements of jazz. You haven't gotten to the chapter yet, starting with chapter. Okay. Let's take out your report card. It would be this. It would be advantageous of you to draw this chart. Draw a chart in your learning log. Is it social studies? Okay, you have loose leaf paper? So you're just going to have to write your notes on this for right now. Now you're going to be, is anyone reading the same book? Who's reading the same book?
I'm trying to read.
Now Jackie Robinson was doing Bud's time.
How about we all just read one book?
No. Why don't we each read a book independently, and let's start. While you are reading, you take notes based upon leadership. Let's go through some of these categories. If there's books written about these individuals, that means that they made some contributions in history as well as to our society. Let's look at how we're grading. You get to grade, and this is going in our literary museum.
And then when Rachel came back, she was flabbergasted that they were wearing
because you're an actor. Because you're an athlete, Jackie Robinson. Okay? As you're reading, take notes that talk about Jackie Robinson as a leader. Then, let's look at the next category. Organization and planning. Was he organized? Was he or she able? Ooh, Harriet Tubman, she was organized. She never lost. She never lost. Make your mistakes and just kept going. Jackie Robinson, who never gave up. Harriet Tubman. And you know, you were absent, Davion, but another group discovered that many people were thinking that William Shakespeare didn't really write his
It's like this.
but he kept
They
on.
had the second mass and she can't do it anymore.
Kids and over.
I know that's something.
No, that's not even the main character.
No, Kit is not. It's not new. I think that was my prediction. I think that Kit never gonna fall in love.
Huh? No. Okay, Carla, what is your prediction for chapter 6? Oh, that's when the mass happened. No, the second mass. Then the second mass. No, the second mass. Oh, I'm sorry. Then they said that they were gonna have the second mass and she couldn't endure it anymore.
Okay. Oh, the meeting again?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna have it again.
You didn't predict.
I already did.
But they said it in chapter 5.
Yeah. Predict like, okay. Say for instance. Predict
Very good.
what will happen.
But I think that was wrong.
Predict what you think cute.
This book, The Rich Black White Woman, tells about the seven witches. Think about where you think Kit will be caught. If she is a witch, do you think is she a witch and she will be caught for witch magic?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because she was raised in Barbados where children likes to learn to swim, and like where in Connecticut colony nobody knew how to swim.
But boys and men.
Anything.
So and John isn't he the one who was reading something and Kit told him that is that all what you read?
History plays a huge, and he tried to tell her she should try to swim again because they considered the women can float. They consider them as a witch.
But like she wasn't a witch. She was trying to save the doll for the girl, and her grandfather taught her how to swim so that she can help people. But she saved the doll, and they accused her of being a witch, so that she couldn't do anything like for that, because all she knew how to was to swim, and she saved the girl's doll. So Nat didn't think that she knew how to swim, and she just jumped in the water to save the doll. That's why he jumped in the water after.
Right here it says we will read historical fiction and make connections to key events in American history. I have one key event is when they said that girls didn't know how to read. Because when John said, "You know how to read?" Didn't you see that in chapter something? It's like in the American history, girls didn't know how to read.
Charlotte or Leah, one of y'all described the Cuff family.
The cup?
The Cuff family.
Well, he said cup.
The Cuff family.
The Crow family. I think they're the one who accused Kit of being a witch.
There's
for this one, I'm gonna give it for video that's the basic story. I'm gonna give it 40 because like the captions, yeah, and with the pictures in the background is describing like it was all over, but they put the whole word. What about this one? I'm gonna get out in the 30 because like the music in the background is describing what happened in the Great Depression. Now the narration, I'm leaving a tent because nobody in the
part of his diet, but rare and interesting things such as he had smelled cooking in rich people's house and the best taverns, but had never tasted. Who made a connection when you smell somebody's food and you just got hungry? Me. I did. But first he tormented his hunger by going from one tavern kitchen to the next to see which smelled the best. At the bunch of grapes, a maid was basting a roast of beef. A spicy pudding was bubbling on the hearth. At the king's coffee house, a suckling pig was so tasty.
How did when you watch Liberty Kids, how did the colonists feel about soldiers entering their homes?
They thought it was outrageous, like, because they just came in their house and expected food and stuff.
Okay, what was another? Boston was known, and this is the heart of the American Revolution. In your Venn diagram, what incident took place yesterday that you could kind of make some comparisons and contrasts to?
some people died when Boston got bombed.
Okay, do you know what event was taking place? The Boston Marathon. Why don't you put, in 2013 in your Venn diagram, why don't you put the Boston Marathon? What do you know about the explosion at the Boston Marathon? Just tell me whatever you know.
I know the explosion killed more than 1 million people.
Oh, it's not 1 million.
There's only like 3. They killed 3 people.
They said 86.
They said he killed 3 people and injured 23.
Well, we're going to go on USA Today, and I don't want you to see some of those pictures. I'd rather you see those pictures with your parents, because we're talking about the Boston Massacre here. You remember when the Patriots and the Loyalists just started